Good afternoon, Pine Richland High School. This is Mrs. Bowman. I'm sure you can see my picture in the bottom of the screen. Very excited to share a message with all of you today. Not so excited for you to see me, but I will get used to it and get a little better. Just a few minutes ago, we shared a letter with all of your families, with your parents, and we are hopeful that you are sitting next to them as you are going through this message right now with me. A couple things that we want to make sure we are communicating with you. We've been getting a lot of questions, so we want to do our best to answer those questions. So I ask that you sit back and relax and just go through this message with me. So the first thing I wanted to share is in our message last week, the principals shared a very brief message with all of you that included this really cool video that Mr. Pushkis put together for us. Down at the bottom of the screen, you see his and my Twitter accounts. This video is posted there, but I've also included it at the end of the email that I shared with you as well. So if you haven't had a chance to check this out, please do that. In the letter that we just shared with your families, I talked about the end of the third 9 weeks and also how today is actually day 1 of our fourth 9 weeks. So a couple things about the third 9 weeks first. Please know that all of your quarter 3 work is due to your teacher no later than March 27th. Our actual hope is that all of you have already taken care of all of that, and everything for quarter 3 through March 13th has been given to your teachers, has been submitted to your teachers. We wanted to give just that extra week for students to make sure that everything is caught up. We really don't want any student to end up with an incomplete on their report card unless it's a unique, very individualized situation. So please make sure that all of your work's been turned in so that teachers can submit grades and everything will be available to you on Wednesday, April 1st through home access. The second thing is, yes, quarter 4 does start today. So again, with regard to that overlap between quarter 3 and quarter 4, it's really just so that you have an additional amount of time if you need it to get quarter 3 taken care of. At this point, I'm sure that you've received your assignments for this week. Weekly assignments are going to be shared with students from your teachers on Mondays. This week is unique, though, as was mentioned in an email last week from Dr. Miller. We are following our school schedule. And so yesterday was actually an in-service day for teachers. So students were off, the teachers worked. And so for you, what that means for you as a high school student is it's a 4-day work week, is kind of how I like to refer to it. That means that this week, yesterday, or maybe today, your teachers would have sent you 4 days worth of learning activities. So as you are getting these assignments, these learning activities on Mondays, we really are encouraging you to make a schedule for yourself. I had an opportunity today, along with the other principals, to actually have some brief conversation with some of our students. And I know that a lot of you are struggling to get into a routine, have a schedule for yourself. So again, something that we shared last week with all of you, this was something that one of our school counselors found on a website called teentake30.com, but it really is a nice schedule for you to follow. I know that by 8:30 a.m., that wake up might be a little challenging, but it really will help you to stay in a routine. Make sure that you are getting up at a normal, I'm going to say normal, and I get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock every day. Getting up at a good time for yourself every day. 8:30, that's a great idea. If you were to follow this schedule, what a great plan for yourself. So this can just be a model for you to think about. And we'll talk through some of these things as we go through the rest of the presentation. But if you look at this, there's time for you to get outside and get some fresh air. Time for you to take care of some things around the house that your parents might be asking you to support them with. Then there's time in the middle of your day with a break here in between as well to take care of your schoolwork. a little bit of time in the morning, a little bit of time in the afternoon, and our hope is that that's enough that you'll be able to take care of what you need to. Going back to this, please make a schedule for yourself. That one that I just shared with you is just a model, but you need to find what works best for you. All of the assignments that you receive on Monday are being mapped out so that you are submitting those by Friday. I'm sure teachers won't mind if you are sending something in as you complete it, but the work that you're getting, the learning activities that you're getting from your teachers on Mondays, by the end of each week. We encourage you to ask questions as needed of your teachers. I know that they are getting back to students as quickly and efficiently as they can. So thanks for your patience on that as we are all adjusting to this new way of learning and delivering instruction. Remember that we really are looking for the right amount of learning given our new learning environment for all of us. I also wanted to share that the district is exploring two-way video conferencing. I know that I look forward to the day where we could set up some time to chat through video, and we are working on getting that established. But for now, it is one-way communication with, similar to what I'm doing today, the teachers creating a screencast and sharing that with you in this format. Another look at that schedule that we talked about a few minutes ago. Now, just some general announcements that I included in the letter to your families a few minutes ago. So, with regard to the schedule was mailed out to all of our students on Thursday, March 19th. Hopefully, you have seen that already. I'm moving my picture so that I can make sure I don't miss anything on the slide. If you did not receive that schedule in the mail, please make sure that you contact your school counselor. You only need to contact them if there's something that doesn't seem to be quite right on that schedule. Remember at this point, and I'm just reviewing my notes that I talked about with regard to scheduling, just remember that this is the final verification form. So really, this verification is simply to verify that the courses shown match your original course request form. So please be sure to know that no changes are being made at this time unless there's been some type of processing error. So again, if you have any questions on that at all, please make sure that you reach out to your school counselor. So this next slide is going to be a little more challenging for me to share, but bear with me as I do, please. Oh, learning technology, bear with me. I really wish we were sitting in the auditorium and I was standing up in front of you sharing this information person to person. Thanks for your patience with my technology. So as you are aware, shared by Dr. Miller late last week, Pine Richland School District is extending the closure of our schools through at least Friday, May 1st. In that message, it was also shared that it is highly likely that period of closure could extend even further and possibly through the end of our current school year. We know that this leaves a lot of questions on your minds, and we are working to determine appropriate and, most importantly, honest answers to the many questions that you have. We appreciate your patience as we work to share details with you. The first of these decisions are regarding Minithon and prom. Students, as you know, our Minithon was scheduled for Saturday, April 1st, but due to the closure, Minithon needs to be canceled. We also know that prom is really an exciting event for so many of our juniors and seniors. Our 2020 prom was scheduled for Saturday, April 25th. That event also is canceled. Guys, I hope you know that this is difficult information for us to share, and we know it's even more difficult for you to hear. The impact of what's going on in the state of Pennsylvania, our nation, and across the globe are events that are impacting all of us. But it's important for us to remain focused on you. Our hearts and minds are with our students more than ever. We need to communicate the facts as we know them at this time. And while we're hopeful about a return to school, it's something that we just don't know at this time. I think I can say to all of you that you know your principals well enough to know that if we are back on Monday, May 4th, we are going to do everything in our power to make that last month of school filled with events and activities. But we also don't want to mislead anyone. So as we get closer and closer to that date and we know what we are to expect, please know that we will continue to share information with you. Just know again that our hearts and minds are with all of you. I've covered some questions, I've covered and given some answers to a few things, but I know you still have a lot on your mind. I just sat here and kind of generated questions that we've received. We know that there's questions about grades for quarter 3. We've covered that one. Grades for quarter 4, we're going to get there. We know that there's new information coming out from SAT, ACT, and the AP College Board. We're working on getting that information to our families. We know that some of you might be asking about NHS. Typically, we do an activity period this time of year to talk about the application process for those of you that are sophomores or juniors and looking to apply to be members of NHS. Some of you are asking questions about your GPA and what that's going to look like given current circumstances. What about those scholarship applications, award ceremonies, band concerts, choral concerts? We know that you're asking all of those questions. And please know that we are going to make this screencast a weekly event. The principals and I will take turns sharing some information with all of you to get information to you as best we can. And we want to make sure that we're very clear and, as I mentioned, honest in sharing the information with you. We miss you guys. As I mentioned before, we want to be in front of you in the auditorium. We want to be in the cafeteria with you. We want to be in the hallways with you. But right now we're not, because it's not safe for us to do that. And so our health, our safety, our well-being is what's most important, that of ourselves, as well as our families. And so we're going to abide by what we are being directed to do. We're going to stay at home. We're going to take walks down the street, and when we run into a neighbor, say hi, but keep that social distance. Please know that graduation is Friday, June 5th, and we're going to make that happen. Do I know how yet? Nope, I don't. But as soon as I do, I will be communicating that with all of you. We miss you guys. We're thinking about you, and we look forward to seeing everybody soon. Thanks so much.